How much does it cost running an online business? Hi, Massimo here, and this was not a question that I was asked from one of my group members, but this is a kind of objection or kind of idea and question that normally the people ask me when we speak about online business. The first question is how much does it cost? And normally from this question I understand that these people are just employees. Nothing against employees, because anyway I was an employee as well, and anyway this is one way of earning money, trading time for money. But the mindset is totally different from an entrepreneur, because an employee has the habit to work a certain amount of hours per day and then receive the money, okay, and this is okay, and the employee doesn't have any risk, quote unquote, any risk. The risk is that he doesn't have any control on the business who is employing him, and if the business fails, he loses the job, or the income will just be lowered and then loses the job. So, but normally, if the business owner is a good business owner, and the employee should not lose his job. But as we know, for our experience, this is not the case. It always happens. In one moment or the other, the leader is the business. The easiest is that this business will fail faster. The greatest is the business. The greatest are the chances that the great business will took a lot of time in order to fail. Okay, and then the employee is a little bit more safe. But if the management is not competent, it is going to happen anyway, and this happened always to everyone. Okay, even banks. Do you remember it? We thought that banks were the safest place where to be an employee, but we know already from the earlier global economic crisis that it is not so, even for them. So basically what happens is that if you try to run a business, your own business as an entrepreneur, as I did in the past more than once, but let's not speak specifically about network marketing, which was something that I did in the past, and I'm doing the present for an Italian company, only for Italians. Okay, but I was always an employee, and then I tried to be an entrepreneur with my own business. I remember it was years ago. I was not yet married, and I had a different partner. She had a son. She has a son. They are not dead. Okay, and what happened was that was the time. I already spoke about this in an earlier video. At that time, internet points were really the trend, and video games, PlayStations and Xbox video games were just starting, and more than starting, they were already quite known and used. The video games rooms where the boys were going and play, like the 80s. You can understand now better how old am I. despite my new haircut after the lockdown ended, and despite many people says that I look younger than I am. Thank you all, but just let's let's don't go into another direction. But in 80s you had these places where you could go, insert coins and play with video games. Then PlayStation and Xbox arrived. The consoles arrived, and I was in this transactional period where the boys, the children and boys and girls were just shifting from the public places where you had to insert the coin, okay, in order to play, to PlayStation, to the consoles, okay, for playing amazing video games at home. And I remember that it looked like to be the best thing to do, because I was passionate about video games, and I could build very fast a relationship with kids and boys and girls, in order, because I knew the games, I was playing with them and so on in this shop that I had with 4 computers for to be used for the internet point, and 5 consoles, 5 TVs and console, which were 5 PlayStation 2 and 5 Xboxes, for a total of 10 consoles and 10 TVs, and chairs, and so on. And yeah, and I remember that I had to go with my ex-girlfriend and to ask money to the bank in order to invest the money into buying the consoles, buying the TVs, buying the metal structures in order to put the TVs and consoles in there. We went to the IKEA. In Italy we call it IKEA. The IKEA, and we bought mirrors to put all around the place in order to make so that it looked greater than it was. Okay, then I had to buy video games. Okay, and then I had to buy 4 computers, and I had to buy other 4 structures, desks, for the computers, and I had to buy a great desk where I put the cash machine. And before to do this, I had to search for a place where I could set up everything. Then I had to make a contract with the landlord, and then we have to work inside in order to create all the electric line, like the law asked, in a certain way, with certain kind of protections and so on. We had to change something in that place. And I remember when I started the first day, and at that time I used also leaflets, leaflets to give to boys. I was going, from previous video, I am an action guy, and I was giving the leaflets to all the boys, especially boys, because they were the main ones interested. Yeah, that was the target, mainly boys. And I was giving on, in 1 month I'm going to open, this is the if you come here this day, there will be the opening, and so on, and promoting where I was living at that time. And how much money I did spend? I started with a minus of 6,000 euros, and we are speaking about, no, it was more than 6,000 euros. We are speaking about more than 12 years ago. It was more, I think maybe 8,000, 4,000 only just to set up everything. And set up everything, and then more money for the video games and so on, money for promotion. I mean, yeah, around 6,000 minus, 6,000 euros minus. And then after a couple of months, after the first month came the first light bill. My god, I watched it and I was like, oh my god, you know. And after a couple of months, the tax payments arrived, because here in Italy, if you are an entrepreneur, normally, I don't know if it's changed now, but normally, for what I know, I remember, if you own a business and you are a professional, you have to pay taxes in advance. You know what they did? They figured out that a certain kind of profession should produce a certain amount of income, and instead to tax you the effective income that you are producing. So if you are not going good, you pay not much, and if you are going good, you pay more. No, they decided that for example, my kind of business was going to give me a certain amount of income, and they were just taxing the future income before I even was earning anything. And I was like, my god, I'm not earning. You know, at the beginning I was 100. This is 0, okay, this is plus money, this is minus money. I was here, okay, this is 0, and I was here. And I remember that I had to start working as an employee in order to pay the money that I owed the bank, also because I couldn't do so that my girlfriend, which used as guarantee her own home. And I had also problems with her parents, because they told her, what did you do? You are crazy with this guy, you are doing this, you're taking this risk and so on. Moral of the story, I closed it when expenses, when I couldn't, I was seeing that the boys were not coming anymore. They were just renting the video games from some other shops in the area, and the era of internet points and video games was just finishing. I decided to close when I reached 0 with my living debts. It means light bills, the rent bills with landlord, and all the expenses that I had with credit cards in order to make it work and so on. And I closed it. Then I had to pay for other, because I accumulated debts, I think other 5 years, still paying every month. I married and I was still paying. I married my wife Karima, and I was still paying the debt, because I am man of honor, and I didn't just because my ex-girlfriend was my the one who we had a society together, and if I weren't going to pay, the bank would have just taken her house and paid everything out of her house. I couldn't do this. It is not ethics. And for the first 5 years, I was fighting in order to finish ending to pay the debts of this business I had, and I think I ended paying 10,000 euros and something more. And at the end, the nightmare ended, and I said, no more society, no more business where I have At least here in Italy, it is not possible. Okay, no more. When I went in Germany as cameraman and I was a private professional, taxes were totally different, and I could do it, and I was happy to pay and so on. And I even got some reimbursements and so on. Something that in Italy at that time, this was really like hell. And I decided here in Italy, opening a business, paying for the landlord, the rent, and the equipment and so on. No way, never ever, no more. Why I'm doing this? Why am I telling you this? Because when someone asks me how much it costs to run an online business, inside of me, I really understand. The first thing is I go nuts. Come on, guy. You don't even know how much it costs to have a business. Okay? You don't have the idea if you are not an entrepreneur. Okay? And when I tell them, look, you have to learn something. I remember this happened more than once, and it's still happening. And I tell them, look, you know what? I was asking the same thing myself before to study it, because I had this experience, and I tell them the experience that I had. And you have to understand that this is something new. You never did it, or if you're doing it, there is something you don't know, and you have to learn it. You have to learn it from zero, or you have to learn the missing pieces of this kind of profession if you are failing, because clearly there is something you don't know and you are not applying. And there are two ways to do this. The classical way is you learn from a mentor or from a training program. Okay, like when you go to school. For example, I studied for geometry, and then I went studying at the university for engineering, civil engineering. I had to pay. My parents paid for my high school, and then my parents paid for the years that I spent in the university in order to become an engineer. I didn't become an engineer because that was not my way. I was forced to follow that way because of my previous schools. My previous schools were the geometry, which is a lower level than an engineer, okay, and it is the prerequisite to become an engineer, a civil engineer at least. And this was not even the school that I wanted to do. I wanted to be an actor because I was good in acting, and I did many. I acted for in many shows, when I was kid and when I was boy and so on. But anyway, I wanted to do the dramatic art academy, the Italian Dramatic Art Academy, to be an actor, And I was told, no, this career doesn't pay for. Doesn't pay. You will fail and so on. Do something concrete, and I had that choice only where I was living. Doing the geometry, and then the next step, I had the best notes. We were two in the entire school having the best notes. Okay, 60 on 60. At that time there were 60 on 60. Now there is 100 on 100. Okay, but 60 on 60, and then everyone was saying, yeah, now you have to go. You have the best note. You have to go and study at the university and become an engineer. That was not my way, and at the end I left it just to know. But anyway, I had to pay university taxes, the money to go where the university was. I was living in Calabria, in South Italy, and where I was living there was no university. I have to move from a little town in south of Calabria to Cosenza, where there is the university, the study university, with many different addresses. There was engineering, and I had to go. On Monday morning, I was going to the university, and then on Friday evening, I was going back to home, and so on. Go back and forth, And when I was there, my parents were paying for renting a room where I could stay, even if I won a prize for my high notes, but then the price was not covering the whole expenses, okay? And then the money to pay what I had to eat, the university taxes, the money for moving from where I was living to the university and back, and from the where I was living to my home and back, a lot of money. So when you train for a specific short story is that when you train, when you want to do something, you have to learn it, and if you want to learn it in the best way possible and cut the learning curve, you have to pay someone in order to teach you personally, one-to-one mentorship, or in a training course together with others, like you do in university, college, or something other, or specializing courses, specializations courses. Okay, anyway, you understood. And then it comes with we arrive into the online business stuff, and of course, in order to run an online business, normally you need a software. You have to learn how to do this, and then you have to have a minimum of softwares which helps you to automate the business. Otherwise, it is going to be a job and not a business, and you will not get your financial and freedom and independency and time to do what you want, because as I explained to you in an earlier video, when you do a job you are involved. When you do a business, the business work is the system which works for you, and jobs doesn't give you a freedom because of not enough money to be free, and not enough time because you are involved in it. A business is a system which works for you and produces money even if you are sleeping or ill or on holidays, okay? And that gives you the income and the freedom that you want, okay? You just supervise the business, but you are involved, you do a job. So this is the difference. So this is the point. You need some tools in order to keep the business running online, okay? Automated, so that you have more free time, okay? And you have just to check whether there is something that can be improved and so on, and implementing the ways in order to drive traffic to your business, okay? Because the automation is going to do the majority of the business, especially selling. And in order to sell and to not be stressed, not be rejected, to not get disappointed and so on, and failing, you have to have an automatic selling system, online automatic selling system, a funnel. And then you have to have a follow-up campaign which goes on automatically, so that you build a relationship with your with the interested people who just arrived into the sales funnel, and just bought something or are not yet convinced to buy it, but there is still interest, and then they are follow up from the emails that you are sending them. And then when they answer to one or more of the emails, you answer back, and you build a deeper relationship, But anyway, all of this comes to the point that you have to invest some money in training, at least. And if you want to have a business, an online business, not an online an online job, where you are there, and instead of doing this somewhere in the physical universe, okay, you are doing this from home, like translations, If that is your job and you might want to make it a business, basically the difference would be that you build sales funnels for getting interested people who need translations in order to contact you with, thanks to this funnel. The interested people will come out from the bottom of the funnel, okay, and contact you, and you will deal with them. That will be your job. it is something that is the fun, you know. You are a living being and you want contact and you want to give products, you know. You want to follow people, help people, and so on. Okay, but part of the system must be automated, otherwise you are not going to live anymore, and are going to hate the business world. This is what an entrepreneur does. Okay, and the point is that the automated systems are not free. They have a cost, but the cost is so. It is nothing compared of what is the cost of a business. I know it. I spent 10 years in order to pay all my debts for one video games and internet point business. And my wife suffered as well because of the situation. And sometimes she was telling me, why are you doing this? And I was telling her, you know, like you, I am a person of honor. I cannot let that person, even if I don't have any relationship connection with her anymore, that person loses her home. You have your own home, you know what it means. I cannot. No, at that time we didn't have yet. We didn't buy yet our home. Anyway, you know what it means, because you want your home, your own home. She has it, and I cannot let that the bank is taking it away. The agreement between us was he was going to guarantee with the bank with her house, and so that we can get the money. But if the business was going to fail, as it did, I had to pay, and I keep my word in my agreement. And this was also a way which made so that my wife respected me even more. Okay, because there are, it means that if I was keeping the word with her, I was keeping the word with my wife as well. And if something was going to happen or is going to happen, I will not do so that my wife will be deprived from her properties, you know. Because, for example, the home we have now, it is mine, but also of my wife. We didn't separate our assets. We love each other that much, and we are together, and we decide no, the home is it is our home. Okay, but this is another thing. So you need to spend money anyway. Or there is the other way, which is you can go on internet, you can search for videos and so on, and learn from the videos, free videos and so on, but you will miss the priorities, the connections amongst one topic to the other. Are they the different aspects of the online business connect together? Okay, link together. You know, it will take a long time. You will learn also the wrong data, and you will bring with you mistakes in the executions of the correct actions in order to be successful. And you will you will have some little you are not going to have success. Watch my previous videos, and this is what I was doing. I was learning from free videos. I learned a lot, but the key principles, the whys, the hows were not explained. There was not connection, and I was failing. So if you trust your skill to learn from random videos on the internet and so on, and you trust that you can be successful anyway, and you have a lot of time, okay, this is a way to learn. But do you have all this time? So basically, if you want to learn faster and cut the learning curve, you have to understand that you have to train. and the training is not free, because there is someone who created the train, who suffered, who hustled, okay, who put inside in it a lot of work, did a lot of mistakes and so on, and then extrapolated, took off all the working things and put them together in the best sequence for him, which then he understood, or she understood, was giving him or her results. And so, for example, I needed 8 months in order to learn how to make, so that 8 months or almost 10 months, 8 months, 8 months, yeah, until I didn't find something. In order to learn how to make online business successful, okay, for me. And I was failing, but I learned a lot, okay. I learned a lot of things that I don't have to do, okay. But anyway, I was failing. And if you have a lot of time, you can use the second way. But if you don't have a lot of time, you want to cut your learning curve, you have to give something in exchange to someone who is going to teach you, or to the training program which is going to teach you how to do it properly and be successful. And so if you want to cut your learning curve, the thing that I suggest to you is to do the same thing that I did. To join the One Funnel Away challenge, which is a challenge of 30 days, okay, and where you are going to learn everything about how to build funnels, kind of online automatic selling systems, which are going to sell stuff for you online. It doesn't matter if you have something to sell, products or service ideas or not, because into the challenge there are also, if you don't have anything, there is something for you that you can sell when you finish the challenge, okay. So it is for everyone who wants to start an online business, and the first thing that you have to learn is how to get people coming to you instead of chasing them, okay. The right people coming to you and buying your products, services or ideas, instead of chasing the wrong ones, one-to-one, getting rejected and then quit and fail and go back to do your employee job, especially in the situation we have now after the lockdown, at least here in Italy. The last thing that when the person doesn't really understand, I do. Sometimes I don't have the time, or I simply don't want to use all of this time in order to explain all of these things that I explained to you, to someone, because for different reasons. I have to do something, my wife, my daughter is demanding my attention, asking for my attention, there are some stuff and so on. So often what happens when someone asks me how much it's going to cost running an online business, or when they ask me how much it's going to cost the One Funnel Away challenge and so on, I just ask them how much is. I wouldn't ask how much it's going to cost, because this just shows you your mentality. You are the one. How much is going to cost? The question is how much is going to cost to you not doing this. I tell you what costed me: 8 months of suffering. Okay, without speaking about all the previous years when I was doing network marketing without using funnels, okay, because they can be used for funnels as well, for network marketing as well. Okay, the amount of money that I lost, amount of time that I lost, okay, and the amount of money and time that I would have lost if I wasn't doing the One Funnel Away challenge, but especially the mental stress, emotional stress that I had to pay, money, time, and emotional stress, that that I had to pay for not knowing these informations and not knowing how to follow the correct sequence in the shortest ways possible. You know what? It is 30 days. 30 days of intense training, okay? Where at the end you will have the skills to build your own selling funnels, many funnels for everything that you want, okay? And at the end you will already build your first funnel, okay? Because during the challenge you are going to learn how to do this and building your funnel in a successful way and how to lead traffic into your funnel, okay? So 30 days against 8 years. I did the math. It is 1920 times faster. 1920. 1920 times faster doing the one funnel away challenge, which is 30 days, instead of 8 years of mistakes and failing, then not doing it. Can you imagine how much money I lost not doing it? Can you imagine how much time, 8 years, I lost not doing it? Not 8 years, sorry, 8 months. Okay? 8 years, I mean, with network marketing, and the other stuff that I did. Also, can you understand how much emotional pain I had to go through because I didn't know about all this stuff? And then in 30 days I learned the basics, and now I'm helping others in this way, and in exchange I'm getting money and we are surviving. So do you have all this time or don't? If you don't have all of this time, just start the One Funnel Away challenge today. Click on the link here, there, on the sides. It depends where you're watching this video, or comment in the post where there is this video, or just send me a message on Facebook or on Instagram. You are allowed to do this, okay? And I will get you, and you will get from the link or my answer the information that you need to check how it works, what is it, and then start, okay? Click on the link doesn't mean that you're starting, you're paying something. It means that you're going to be directed into the information page where you get all the information about the One Funnel challenge, and then you can decide, okay? So thank you for watching this video. It was quite long, but anyway, I hope that you enjoyed it anyway. It was another part of my life that I shared with you, something personal, but it is I think that this is part of my mission, because if you think that I am some guru or someone coming from I don't know where, there is no connection. You have to understand that what you are experiencing is the same thing, that is similar thing that I'm experiencing. I had great problems, and I am having problems with, like everyone, okay? Because we are human beings, okay? And so I prefer, we now got in touch. You are knowing more about me, and I feel more confident now to tell you more about what happened to me, and this is why I hope that my today's story enriched you in some way, okay? So if you don't have all this time and you want to cut your learning curve in order to start your online business, your personalized online business, you have to learn how to do funnels. You have to build your first successful funnel. In order to do this, click on the link below there again. Click on the link, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, or just comment to this post, okay? So thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate it very much, and see you in the next video. Ciao.